Sylvr.
And we are merch team members here at Rogers Gardens. Today we're going to talk to you about beach cottage style.
Today we're talking about beach cottage style. When I think of beach cottage, I think of lazy summer days by the beach, walking along the sand, collecting shells, coming back to a well-loved home with light fabrics and sun-faded paint, wooden floors, and very natural and very neutral textures and colors. Very calming. It's more of an overall lightness and breeziness that we're trying to feel. You can incorporate lanterns, anything in a wood or natural wood, metals, anything that is vintage looking, has the antique feel, works really well. Really large scale items, things that remind you of, boat piers and sailing. I love the antique glass with the blues and the greens and antique glass bottles. You can have a nice collection of bottles showing on a counter. You can have jars such as this where you fill with your collected items. You can fill it with shells, we have it with driftwood, some beach glass. It makes a really nice little vignette, so it's very reminiscent for you. And also incorporating shells. This is not really a beach theme that we're going for. We want really more of a feeling and a more breezy kind of warm summer evening feeling where it's not about everything that's printed as shell, everything that's just taking a bunch of shells and putting them out. Now I've picked plants as well to work within this to kind of emphasize that feeling. Things that you'd find kind of on a dunes. Tall grasses are fun in containers. I have succulents. Succulents are great. You see this by the beach, and also has the colors that we're looking for. We want really muted, more tonal textures and colors. We're really avoiding the bright turquoise. We're avoiding the bright peaches. We're doing more of the natural. Think natural colors and things you'd see like in plants as well. The containers, you can even tie it into your containers. Here I'm using a corrugated tin that's been patinaed and looks very, very old and rustic. There's a lot of antique items that you can put in, that you can use as well. A lot of milk glass. Milk glass really lends itself well to this look. And we have, you can have solid, anything that you find. You can go to flea markets and find these things. We carry here at Rogers. We can also do, again with the peel paint, we have, you can do a picture frame, you can do baskets or just containers around the house with the peel paint look on it as well, and that will really translate into this beach cottage style.
Okay. When I think of beach cottage style, I think of the textures and the colors that are incorporated with the beach. I started with aqua colored glasses that represent water and filled it up with some old wood. And another piece is old wood planks to serve as a placemat that reminds me of an old pier or dock. It's okay to mix and match your plateware. I just used a crisp white, but I have a difference of textures and patterns. This kind of reminds me a little bit of the texture of sand and the ripple of water. I also brought in some shells and rocks. I really love going to the beach and collecting shells and old beach glass, so I love to incorporate that in a table. I brought in this really beautiful table linen that incorporates my favorite colors that I think of represent the beach, aquas and peaches. It is also very complementary to my vintage glass jars and the shelves that I brought onto the table. So to keep with the vintage feel of beach cottage style, I've incorporated one of our old worn lanterns and our vintage glassware that has a nice motif of shells that kind of ties into that whole theme. I've also incorporated our grasses. So I brought a tall grass to the table. You can buy a potted plant, pop it into a decorative pot, and hide the rim with shells.
So now we've come to the audience participation part of the video, or the DIY. Actually, what I want to show you is how to take your collected items and make a personalized piece of art for your wall to incorporate all of the things that we've been talking about that incorporates into cottage style. I've created a shadow box simply using a box that I found, a crate. You can use anything you find that can hold items. It doesn't have to have shelves in it specifically, because you can attach anything you want to the back of it. I've created these little matted areas that I've made a little mini collection, which would be the shelf, but then use them individually and attach them to create one overall look. In order to do this, you want to collect all of the items that you have that you want to use. You have your shelves, you have your beach glass, driftwood, personal pictures. You can put anything that reminds you of summer vacation. You can put ticket stubs from the arcade. You can put anything that you like in it. In order to create the mats, what I did was I just took a piece of mat board that you can get at any hobby shop in any color, as long as the front is white. And this is where you're going to get your stability. So I used the mat board, and then I simply took a napkin that we actually carry here at Rogers and use this as the pattern. So you can take this and actually separate the pieces off and then adhere it to the board, a square to the board, and then this is what you're going to arrange your items on. And you just use hot glue. So you just stick the items on and then place it, and then you kind of lay it out how you want it, and then you can hot glue these pieces on. I also have pieces that are loose. You know, in case you have items that you don't really want to hot glue, you can just set those items on the bottom and or hang them. I took this bottle and put a bunch of little shells in it and then just hung it because I had the ability with the type of box it is. Look for anything in the box that you can use to help create your layers, and you'll have a fully beautiful piece of art to hang on your wall that you have created and adds your personality.
Thank you so much for joining us.
We hope that you enjoyed our presentation on beach cottage style and that you can incorporate some of these ideas into your own home.